Some of the films that I love are John Huston's classic, The Treasure of Sierra Madre, Nosferatu.
Some directors chase trends. Sam Raimi chases ghosts. For over 4 decades, he's been one of cinema's most unpredictable voices.
2, 1, action!
From the blood-soaked cabins of Evil Dead to the web-slinging heroics of Spider-Man, his work doesn't just entertain, it possesses, it moves, it refuses to sit still.
Ready, and action!
But behind every Dutch angle, every whip pan, every scene that makes you laugh and scream in the same breath, there's something deeper, a foundation. Raimi didn't invent his style out of nowhere. He built it from the films he couldn't stop watching, the ones that rewired his brain, the ones that taught him how cameras could dance, how horror could have heart, how chaos could have structure. He doesn't just love movies. He studies them like ancient texts. And when he names his favorites, he's not making a list. He's showing you his blueprint. These 10 films didn't just inspire Sam Raimi, they made him possible. 10. The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Sam Raimi doesn't hide it. The Wizard of Oz isn't just a childhood memory, it's his foundation.
Reverence for that great film, The Wizard of Oz, directed by Victor Fleming, 1939. And I have it myself. It's my favorite picture of all time.
He called it the first film that made him understand what movies could do. The color, the movement, the way Dorothy's world transforms the second she steps out of Kansas. Raimi saw it as a kid and never recovered. He's referenced it in nearly every film he's made. The tornado in Evil Dead, the dream logic in Darkman. Even Spider-Man swinging through New York carries that same sense of impossible flight. It's all Oz, all wonder turned into motion. What hooked him wasn't just the fantasy, it was the craft. The way the camera glides down the yellow brick road. The way fear and hope live in the same frame. Spielberg built worlds from Oz. So did Raimi. But where Spielberg found comfort, Raimi found chaos. He took Dorothy's journey and made it darker, faster, bloodier. But the heartbeat, that stayed the same. 9. The Seven Samurai, 1954. Akira Kurosawa didn't just direct The Seven Samurai. He taught Sam Raimi how to shoot action.
Yes, because we put in a lot of humor for the audience. We want them to enjoy themselves. The film is definitely an entertainment.
How to make violence mean something. How to turn a sword fight into poetry. Raimi has said this film changed the way he thinks about pacing, about building tension, about earning every single frame. The film is 3.5 hours long, but it never drags. Every scene breathes, every character matters. Kurosawa uses rain like a weapon. He uses silence like a scream. And Raimi absorbed all of it. Watch the final battle in Army of Darkness. Watch the train fight in Spider-Man 2. The choreography, the rhythm, the way chaos feels controlled. That's Kurosawa's influence bleeding through. What Raimi loves most isn't the spectacle, it's the structure. 7 warriors, 1 mission, clear stakes. Kurosawa taught him that big action needs small moments, that heroes are better when they're flawed, that every great battle starts with a quiet decision. Raimi built his career on that lesson, and he's never stopped learning it. 8. The Manchurian Candidate, 1962. John Frankenheimer's The Manchurian Candidate hit Sam Raimi like a fever dream.
Casting is to really figure out who the character is. Because if we can know who the character is, casting becomes a very doable and logical process.
It's a political thriller that moves like a horror film.
I will go with you to Washington. Tomorrow, if you like, and I will show you documented proof that this man stands for evil, that he is evil.
Paranoid, twisted, and shot with a precision that makes your skin crawl. Raimi has called it one of the most perfectly constructed films ever made. Every angle means something. Every cut tightens the noose. What obsessed him was the control. Frankenheimer never wastes a second. The brainwashing scenes feel like nightmares you can't wake up from. The close-ups trap you, the editing disorients you, and through it all, there's this cold, relentless tension. Raimi saw how a camera could become a psychological weapon, how framing could make you feel insane. You can see it in Darkman, in A Simple Plan, in the way Raimi shoots paranoia, the way he turns ordinary spaces into traps. He learned from Frankenheimer that thrillers don't need to explain everything. They just need to make you feel hunted. The Manchurian Candidate didn't just entertain Raimi, it haunted him. And he's been chasing that feeling ever since. 7. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, 1920. Sam Raimi found the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in film school, and it broke his brain open.
It's actually the best way to have a consistent and look throughout the whole picture and have control over the look.
This German silent film from 1920 looks like a nightmare painted on canvas. The sets are crooked, the shadows are sharp, nothing is straight, nothing is safe. Raimi saw it and realized that reality is optional, that a film can live inside its own twisted logic. The entire movie feels like walking through a madman's mind. The walls bend, the streets spiral, and Raimi loved it. He said this film taught him that style isn't decoration, style is storytelling. Every warped angle in Evil Dead, every tilted frame in Drag Me to Hell, every moment where the camera itself feels possessed. That's Caligari's DNA. What makes it stick isn't just the visuals, it's the commitment. The filmmakers didn't apologize for the strangeness. They leaned in. Raimi learned that lesson early. Don't soften the weird. Amplify it. Make it unforgettable. 6. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. John Huston's The Treasure of the Sierra Madre taught Sam Raimi something crucial. How greed destroys, how paranoia spreads.
Get up!
Let go of it.
How good men turn into monsters when gold gets involved. Raimi has called it one of the most honest films ever made about human nature. No heroes, no easy answers. Just 3 men, a mountain, and the slow collapse of trust. Humphrey Bogart's performance haunted him. The way his character unravels isn't loud. It's gradual. A look here, a hesitation there, then madness. Raimi studied that descent. He used it in A Simple Plan, in Drag Me to Hell, in every story where ordinary people make one bad choice and can't climb back out. What Raimi loves most is the inevitability. Huston doesn't rush it. He lets the tension build like heat under skin. The desert becomes a pressure cooker. The camera watches, patient and cruel. Raimi learned that horror isn't always monsters. Sometimes it's just what we do to each other when no one's watching. 5. Psycho, 1960. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho didn't just scare Sam Raimi, it educated him. This is the film that showed him how to manipulate an audience. How to break the rules, how to make people scream, and then realize they never saw what they thought they saw. Raimi has said Hitchcock was the master of control. Every frame is calculated, every sound designed to unsettle. The shower scene is cinema's most famous murder. But what Raimi studied wasn't the violence. It was the editing. 78 camera setups, 50 cuts, 45 seconds. You never actually see the knife touch skin. Hitchcock made you believe you did. That's filmmaking as a magic trick. Raimi built his entire career on that principle. What stuck with him most was the audacity. Hitchcock killed his main character 30 minutes in. He turned a cheap motel into a house of dread. He made you sympathize with a killer. Raimi learned that cinema has no rules, only consequences. Break expectations, own the chaos, make them remember. 4. The Exorcist, 1973. William Friedkin's The Exorcist is the film that made Sam Raimi believe horror could be art. Not just scares, not just blood. Real, soul-crushing terror wrapped in serious filmmaking.
Take me!
Raimi has said this movie proved that horror deserves respect, that it can be beautiful and terrifying at the same time. That possession isn't just a gimmick, it's a metaphor for losing yourself. What obsessed him was the restraint. Friedkin doesn't rush, he builds. The first hour is almost quiet. Then the demon arrives and everything shatters. But even in the chaos, there's discipline. Every scare is earned. Every effect serves a story. Raimi watched how Friedkin used sound, silence, and shadow to crawl under your skin. You can see the Exorcist in every Evil Dead film. The demonic possession, the cabin as trap, the way bodies become battlegrounds. But Raimi added his own twist. Where Friedkin went cold and clinical, Raimi went wild and visceral. Different styles, same nightmare fuel, same respect for the darkness. 3. Nights of Cabiria, 1957. Federico Fellini's Nights of Cabiria taught Sam Raimi something unexpected. That cinema could break your heart, that a character could be beaten down again and again and still find hope. It's not a horror film, it's not an action epic. It's a small story about a prostitute in Rome searching for love and dignity. And Raimi has called it one of the most emotionally devastating films he's ever seen. What hooked him was Giulietta Messina's performance. She plays Cabiria with this fierce, stubborn optimism that life keeps crushing. But she gets back up every time. Fellini's camera loves her. It follows her through humiliation and heartbreak with such tenderness. Raimi learned that you can put characters through hell and still make the audience root for them. You wouldn't expect this film to influence Evil Dead or Spider-Man, but it did. Raimi's heroes always take brutal punishment. They always get back up. That resilience, that refusal to stay down, that's Cabiria's spirit. Fellini showed Raimi that heart isn't a weakness, it's the strongest thing you can put on screen. 2. Rashomon, 1950. Akira Kurosawa appears twice on Raimi's list, and Rashomon might be the one that changed him most. This film isn't about what happened. It's about how we remember, how we lie, how truth depends on who's telling the story. 4 people witnessed the same crime. 4 completely different versions, no answers, only perspectives. Raimi has called it a revelation. Kurosawa taught him that stories don't need to be clean. They can contradict themselves. They can leave questions hanging. The structure is radical. The same scenes replay from different angles, different memories, different truths. And the camera moves like it's searching for something it'll never find. What Raimi took from this wasn't just narrative tricks. It was philosophical. Reality is flexible. Memory is unreliable. Cinema can reflect that instability. You see it in how Raimi plays with point of view, how he shifts tones mid-scene, how his films feel like they're arguing with themselves. That's Rashomon's gift. Doubt as a storytelling tool, uncertainty as art. 1. The Third Man, 1949. Carol Reed's The Third Man sits at the top, and for Sam Raimi, it's untouchable. This is the film he returns to over and over, the one that taught him how shadows work, how the atmosphere drowns you, how a city can become a character. Post-war Vienna is all rubble and fog and crooked angles, and Reed's camera makes every alley feel like a trap. What makes Raimi obsessed is the craft, the Dutch angles, the zither score. Orson Welles appeared from darkness like a ghost. Every technical choice adds dread. Reed doesn't just tell a noir story, he drowns you in it. Raimi has said this film showed him that style and substance aren't separate. They're the same thing. You see the third man in everything Raimi does. The tilted frames, the expressionist lighting, the way his heroes walk through worlds that feel off balance. Reed built a masterpiece from angles and shadows, and Raimi spent his whole career trying to do the same. One film, infinite influence. That's why it's number 1. Sam Raimi doesn't just watch films, he absorbs them, steals from them, honors them. These 10 movies built his language, shaped his chaos, gave him permission to break every rule. Who's your favorite on the list? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more deep dives into the minds of cinema's greatest.